Just Ricky
There
Starks?
we go. Yeah, he's finally through.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
How are you guys tonight?
We are actually fabulous. Thank you for asking.
Yes, fabulous.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
We actually appreciate you taking time out of your schedule because we know the life of a professional wrestler is constantly going. It's on the move all the time.
yes.
Or so I've heard anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty busy.
That's good, though. That's good. So we'll just kick it off, and I'll let Austin go ahead and ask you a couple of questions first. Go ahead, buddy.
Okay, well, I was going to, start off with, who was your, early influences, in becoming a professional wrestler? Like anybody that you, that basically, inspired you to be, what you're doing right now?
You know what's weird? I didn't have anyone in particular that inspired me to be a wrestler. I had multiple people that I liked. Mankind was one of them. The Rock, Undertaker for sure. Just those guys themselves, drew me into wanting to be a wrestler. So it's hard to, and whenever they ask me that question, it's hard to pinpoint one guy because it's multiple guys,
That is true. There were so many to choose from. I guess there really couldn't be just one person. I mean, I know everybody has their own influences and inspirations for getting in, but I don't think they can just pinpoint one person. So that's actually a good point.
Yeah, it's hard, because you're going to get a lot of influences. Some guys have one influence, but for me, it's been multiple people.
Nice. So when exactly did you get your start in wrestling? How did it come about?
Well, I started wrestling back in it was the early part of 2011.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes it gets hard for me to remember dates like that, but I got my start in Austin, Texas, and I trained at George De Lisle, which is coincidentally the same school that Houston Carson, Barbie Hayden, Bolt Brady, Jojo Bravo, those guys trained at as well.
Awesome.
So we've all come from the same little area.
Did you happen to graduate with all of? They all graduate with you together, or just at different times?
No, that's the crazy thing. I'm trying to think. I know Carson and Barbie graduated together. I'm not sure if Bolt graduated with them either, but we all graduated at different times in our training. Me being the latest graduate of that school.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
So you ready for the big time?
I've been ready for the big time. I've actually been ready for anything, to be honest with you, whether that is Mexico, Japan, anything like that, So
absolutely.
Just enjoying it as I take it day by day.
Well, you actually had your a little bit taste of the big time. Weren't you on SmackDown? I think it was last year.
Yeah, August 7th I was on SmackDown of last year against Jinder Mahal and Ryback in a handicap match, which you can actually find that on YouTube if you search Jinder Mahal. You'll see the thumbnail of me and the camel clutch, and it says two local athletes. So it's pretty cool to be seen by that many people.
And what was that atmosphere like? I bet it was pretty awesome.
That experience was very unique, and it's something I hold to myself very, very dear because not a lot of people get to experience that. But to me, I was very blessed to experience that at such an early part of my life.
Well, can you tell us
how you? Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to mention because on one of our prior guests, Thrasher from the Headbangers, he had mentioned back in his early career, they had people that were they would just come in just to work with the stars to help kind of put them over, make them look, like they're dominant stars and so forth. If either company like TNA or WWE or even Ring of Honor or TCW or whatever company that's going out right now had offered you a chance to come and work as basically being I guess you can say a jobber, really, would that be something that you would be looking to try to get into to maybe get your foot in the door? Is it something that you see yourself maybe taking it to the next level? I mean, is that something that you're interested in doing?
That's a really good question. That is I would say a very subjective question, just because of you never know what's going to be happening in someone's life, basically. So they could offer me that, but I could have another offer for something else. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to give you a definite answer on that. I mean, at the time right now, I would say definitely, because anything is good. Anything is great to have as far as chances go. Lord knows I've had many chances at things, and that can only help me in the future, you know. But like I said, it would be very subjective, just depending on where I'm at my career and what type of career move that I want to make at the time.
Okay. I'm sorry to cut you off there, Austin. Did you have a question? Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, so you, like, we're comparing, talking about the atmosphere of WWE, and this, actually a few weeks ago you made your Ring of Honor debut in San Antonio, Texas, alongside Houston.
Rings a bell.
How do you compare the atmospheres between Ring of Honor and WWE?
Honestly, you may think they differ, but they really don't as far as the atmosphere goes. When I went to WWE, people were very, very nice to me, despite what many may think. It was very more of a brotherhood back there. The same goes for how it was at ROH. ROH was very, very down to earth. It seemed like the feeling of it seemed like we had all known each other for a long time. That's what it seemed like. Everyone was very nice and cordial and very, very just laid back with each other. It was very, very good to have. It's much different than what you experience on the indies in certain states.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, have you actually worked? I mean, you still have a very young career in professional wrestling. Where does Ricky Starks see himself in 10 years?
10 years? I see myself, let's say, 10 years from now.
You see yourself still wrestling, maybe retired? What do you think?
Trying to think. 10 years, I'll be 33 probably, 32, whatever, around my 30s.
Wow, okay, you're making me feel old now.
Yeah. Ideally, I would either like to still be wrestling in some shape or form, or even be in movies,
Yeah.
Either one way or another, I do think I'll be signed to the WWE by then. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
That's like your main goal, so you wouldn't, if, say, if TNA offered you a full-time deal, something like that, you wouldn't take that if WWE didn't come before them?
If WWE did not offer me the TNA, I've noticed something, too, with you guys. That is a very popular question, either TNA or WWE, which is, I'm not complaining about it. It's just I've done my research. But with that question, though, if TNA did offer me the contract before WWE or vice versa, of course I'm going to weigh my options at the time, and see which would be better for me in the long run. So that could mean me signing with TNA, or it could mean me not signing with TNA. It just depends, like I said in the earlier question, It's hard. It's hard when you get to those questions, because that's like me asking you, at your regular job, hey, if I offered you a manager position over being a general manager, but there's certain things, you know what I mean? There's certain things attached to it, and you have to do this or that. That's a hard question to answer at the time.
No, it makes sense. I mean, it's still, you basically have to take it as it comes, and whichever decide to go, you want to go with, you'll get yourself established a lot more, get yourself on television more, and just per se, if we use an example, if WWE decides to wait and you end up going to TNA, at least they can see exactly how it works out for you there, and when your time's up, maybe somewhere down the line offer you something there.
Yeah, there's been many guys that have gone to TNA first and then ended up hitting it big at WWE. Case in point with CM Punk. So, like I said, it just all really depends. And with me, I'm the type of guy who I really just go with the flow, honestly. As corny as that may sound, that's really
no, not at all. Actually, that's a good way to look at it, because if you're constantly worried about if there's going to be a company that may want you or not, then you're not going to have fun. And in this case, you want to go out there and have fun. From what I've seen and what I've heard from prior guests, and I can almost assure that you'll probably say the same thing, You may be nervous going out before you go out, but when you go out, go through that curtain, I guess all the butterflies kind of go away, and you get that adrenaline going.
Yes. That's very understated comment about butterflies before going out there. That is about as real as it gets, and I still find myself getting those. I haven't had one show where I haven't had it, thankfully. I think the day that I stopped having those butterflies was the day that I started to reevaluate my career.
That's the same thing that Justin Neal was actually saying a couple months ago. No, actually, yeah, that's what he was saying. He said that at the moment where he doesn't feel the butterflies in his stomach, it's the moment where he thinks that he might just, hang up his booze and stuff like that.
Who said that?
Justin Neal.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, it rings true, because once you stop having fun, then what's the purpose of doing it?
Now, being right now that managers are slowly starting to make a comeback, very slowly, but I mean they are out there right now. If at any time, be it now or somewhere down the line in the future, if you could have ever had a manager, past or present, to work with you, who does Ricky Starks see himself working with?
By far, it would be Paul Heyman.
Wow, now, Ricky Starks is a Paul Heyman guy. Take note, everybody.
Definitely. Now, this would be Paul Heyman a la 2001. 2001 and 2002. That would be that Paul Heyman. Don't get me wrong, I like Paul Heyman right now, but I like to be that retro type dude. So I would definitely go as far back as that.
He definitely has a great mind for the business and has had a great stable of champions that he's had from way back in his days of WCW, ECW, WWE. So yeah,
Paul
that's actually
Heyman,
a really good.
In my opinion, Paul Heyman is very, very underrated as far as his mind, as far as his mic work goes, and just as overall as a person. He gets a lot of flack for some things, but I think people overlook him, which is a shame.
Well, I think that it probably has a lot to do with the way maybe they figure he created a lot of the extreme, and when they've seen how WWE seen how successful it was for them, they created their quote-unquote attitude era. A lot of people say that WWE got that from ECW, but that's hearsay.
Historians will venture that far. I do think that historians will venture that far to say that it was stolen, but if that's the case, WCW also started to turn its
Agreed.
programming as well.
Agreed.
Around the same time, no less. So.
I definitely agree with that. I mean, Bischoff was definitely not one. He was definitely one person who would definitely like to control the world if he could at the time.
Yeah, and let us not forget that Bischoff was the one that did borrow the NWO angle from Japan. People know about that.
Yes.
So that should be the start of, really the whole tides changing as far as the landscape of wrestling goes.
Absolutely. Now, how long ago, how many years back, let me put it to you this way. How long have you been a wrestling fan?
I've been a wrestling fan since I was literally one. Because my family used to watch wrestling too, so I got started early. And then once my memory started to kick in, I can remember different shows.
Nice.
But as I got older, and as I got more into wrestling, I started to do my history. I go way back as far as history goes. Not a lot of people know that. I know quite a bit about wrestling itself. And there's a running joke amongst Carson and Barbie that I'm just like an encyclopedia of just useless facts about wrestling, because I can tell you anything about anybody. We could be talking about Mark Henry, and I could just start rattling off when he debuted, what pay-per-view he had against.
My goodness, that sounds just like Austin. I swear he would probably have a field day, probably testing your knowledge, because he's also a person who definitely is a fan of the history and follows up on his history pretty well.
Yes, and it's really fun to talk to people about that too. Matt Stryker, if you ever get a chance to interview him, Matt Stryker is another guy.
We're working on it.
An encyclopedia of wrestling knowledge.
Have you ever actually gotten the chance to meet him?
Yeah. He's a very, very good guy if you ever get a chance to meet him.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'm sorry about that, Austin. Go for it, bud.
Matt Striker, he's such an underrated commentator because, it just made me, so mad when he was released from WWE last week. He was he was so smart at everything, and I don't understand why he wasn't on, SmackDown or Raw most of the time, because he knew everything.
I think it was the fact that he was over-enthusiastic in his commentating role, and they didn't like that too much. They wanted people to tell a story but not get over-exaggerated with it, and they felt he did.
Yeah. Well, Matt Striker is truly a fan of wrestling, so that started to show through a bit.
He hit the nail right on the head right there. Because he's a fan.
I agree with your thoughts on his commentary. I do think he's a phenomenal commentator. In addition to that, don't forget that he is really, really, really good as far as his in-ring work goes. Yes,
I agree with that. They didn't allow him to showcase it very much, but I agree.
True, but if you followed Matt on the Indies when he was up in 3PW and then when he started to go to Florida and whatnot, you'll see some matches on there that blow your mind.
If you've gotten the chance to work with him, have you actually gotten the chance to, well, no, it's probably too soon to say, because I know that he's
not with Matt.
Pardon?
No, I haven't had a chance to work with Matt.
I know he's actually allowed to go back and wrestle a little bit now.
Oh, trust me, if I do get the chance, that would be a great time for me.
So, Austin, did you want to test his knowledge a little bit on wrestling history?
What you say?
Did you want to test his knowledge a little bit on wrestling history?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's actually a really good idea. I'm gonna shoot him a few questions and see. Okay.
Sure.
So, have you know anything about WCCW and stuff? You ever watch any of that? Like Michael Hayes, Terry Gordy, Kerry Von Erich, the Von Erichs and stuff like that.
You know Hernandez, half-breed and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, impressive.
Gino Hernandez is actually someone I also look up to, as far as, I'm influenced by him tremendously. And it's a shame that he lost his life at such a young age.
Do you think that somewhere down the line the WWE would actually acknowledge his career at some point?
I would hope so. I think they briefly did touched on it on the DVD, but I would hope they would go further with it. But who knows?
That's true.
Who's to say?
Did you have another question for him, Austin? Hello? I think we lost Austin.
I think we lost him, yeah. That's a shame, too, because I had a great question lined up for him.
Well, I think I'm not sure if he's on the line or not. Are you there?
Can you hear me now? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought we lost you there, buddy.
Oh, sorry.
It's cool. He said he had a question for you.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Let's see. Shoot.
So let's talk about Mark Henry. What was Mark Henry? Do you remember at what pay-per-view and against who did Mark Henry face in his very first pay-per-view for the WWF?
I actually think I might have that answer.
Mark Henry, he was born in Silsbee, Texas.
No, but who was his first match against?
He was born.
What was his first match? What pay-per-view was his first match, and who did he face? And don't Google it.
But I'm not Googling that.
I'm just messing with you.
I don't know.
Wasn't it Jerry the King Lawler?
Yeah, it was. There you go. It was Jerry the King Lawler. Do you remember the pay-per-view?
Wasn't it at SummerSlam in '96?
No. It wasn't at that one. It was at a In Your House, actually.
Okay, I knew it was in '96. I wasn't sure if it was a SummerSlam, though.
Yeah, it was at In Your House. For SummerSlam, I'm trying to think. I don't ever think he worked the SummerSlam back around that time.
But I think they gave him acknowledgement there. They showed him off like he was there in attendance, I think. I don't know if he actually was on the card, but he was there in attendance.
I gotcha, yeah.
I have to look that up and check it out.
But you had it right, though. He did face Jerry. It was at In Your House, for sure.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what match and pay-per-view first, did his first match on, but I could go a lot in detail with his history with Mae Young.
Please don't.
Really? What? Oh, okay. Well,
no, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I want you to do that.
He's just giving an example. I see. I understand, buddy.
All right, I got one for you. The Undertaker, he debuted obviously at the Survivor Series, and no, I don't want to go with that one. You know what? Forget it. I actually was going to go in another boat, but I don't think I want to go with the Undertaker.
Yeah. Don't forget, I'm a huge Undertaker fan, so I pretty much know that guy's career like the back of my hand.
Actually, who was it that crushed his, or they say in the story, I guess, crushed his face?
Yokozuna.
Very good. Wow.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Do you know how, that was at the time he went, after that, he went and took his sabbatical and came back.
Yes,
actually,
sir.
Yeah, that was it, and then he came back and there was 2 Undertakers.
No, that actually was, when he hurt himself, that was in 95. When he left.
The orbital bone?
When he broke the orbital bone in his face there, that was between him and Mabel. And he came back at the Survivor Series wearing that mask.
You're definitely right. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something
it's okay.
else. Oh, you stumped me.
I know my Undertaker history too.
Look at that, you stumped me. I got it a bit confused, but hey, it was a fat guy. Let's put it that.
That's all right. No, that SummerSlam '94 was actually a good one. I enjoyed the whole Leslie Nielsen thing that they were doing with it.
Oh, geez. Let's not even talk about that.
Well, that's how a lot of the stories were a little cheesy back then. But hey, they were entertaining, I guess, somewhat.
Yeah, I'd give you that.
But before we continue on, I actually have a little surprise for you because Austin had pulled up one of our prior interviews that we had, where, let's just say, you pulled a big one over on me, and you had decided to prank call us while we were interviewing Carson.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I do remember that. That was a good one.
So I figured I'd go ahead and play that real quick.
Oh, let's not.
Here we go.
Let's not play that.
Sure?
Go ahead if you want to. It's not my radio show, but...
No, I'm just messing. I mean, if you really don't want to, I won't play it.
No, it's fine because it's on the internet.
Play it.
You can easily find it.
All right, what the heck? For laughs, here we go. All right. Hello, you're on the line with wrestling superstar Carson. Did you have a question for him?
Hi, can y'all hear me?
We can hear you good. Go for it.
Yes, sir.
Just a few things. I don't know if he really would have liked if the show would have, a lot of guys pass away, but we never know if they really would have liked for the show to go on. So it's kind of hard to say if that's true or not,
That's a very good point.
But other than that, I got a question for Carson.
Please go ahead.
What is do you have any good friends or friends in wrestling?
I have a good friend who does horrible impressions. He calls into radio shows, and his name is Ricky Starks, and he's from Texas, and he's actually doing an impression phone call right now. That's how I know we're good friends, because I know he's doing this prank call.
Yeah, very, very good there. Very good there, Ricky.
Nice.
But on a note here, while we have Ricky Starks on the line, Ricky Starks trained at the same place that me and Barbie Hayden trained at. He's a great talent. He's a young Dwayne Johnson. He works just like him, looks a lot like him. Nobody knows what race he is, if he's black, white, red bone, Indian, Hispanic, Cocker Spaniel. Nobody knows.
They relate to everyone.
But he's a great dude, and he's a great dude and one of my best friends in wrestling.
Very cool. Had me fooled thinking he was an elderly woman calling in.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was. I thought we had an old black woman calling. All right, well I'm glad that happened.
Oh God, that was great. I forgot how funny that was at the time, actually.
He knew right away because he said, "Go ahead, buddy," or he actually acknowledged you as a dude, and I thought you were an elder lady calling in.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't be surprised if that fool called in and tried to pull the same thing on me.
Does he know that you're on tonight?
I don't know. I don't think he knows how to work the internet that well, much less Facebook.
He knows how to rock a fanny pack pretty well.
Yeah, he knows how to rock a fanny pack pretty well, and a sweet faux hawk mullet as well. That looks really cool.
Hey, speaking of those two, we had Barbie on last week, and she had been talking about the Queen of Queens match. Apparently,
yes.
She didn't actually win that, but she came out of it. I think she almost won it. I don't know exactly what happened, but she didn't win it.
She made it to the semifinals against Angel Blue, actually, and they had a great, really, really great match, and in the end, Angel Blue got the win.
Well, we were still rooting for her. We were definitely wanting Barbie to win that, but it's cool. She'll win. She'll be Queen of the Rings for us.
For sure. I think everybody is secretly a Barbie hating fan. Me, not so much, but No, I joke. She knows I joke. The kid.
It's okay to have a good sense of humor because it makes the time go by a lot faster, and especially on those long drives to wherever you're going to be performing at.
Oh, most definitely. Me and her have almost the same type of sense of humor, so it works out. But
she tells me you give her a hard time about those hashtags.
You know what? I actually give her a hard time about Instagram, Twitter. I give her a hard time about everything, just about in general, and vice versa. She doesn't like my driving. I don't like her Instagram profile that's private, which is now unlocked. So everyone, you can go look at Barbie Hayden, at Barbie Hayden on Instagram. I hope you're happy, Miss Hayden. I gave you a free plug there. But yeah,
It's funny because you it's almost like a brother and sister kind of thing. You guys fight like brother and sister, but you get along equally the same.
Yeah, it really is. Every now and then we fight each other for real, but we say that for the ring time. Carson is like now, the mom that just sits back and yells at us to stop and doesn't do anything.
Now let me ask you. Now we mentioned Paul Heyman earlier. Now if you had the opportunity to go into an office and just totally pick the brain of somebody, and I'll give you three options, one of them being Vince McMahon, the other being Paul Heyman, and the other being Eric Bischoff, who would you want to sit there and pick his brain about the wrestling business?
Paul Heyman.
No doubt, huh?
Yeah, no doubt about it. I tell you, I'm sold on him. I honestly believe in him.
I believe you.
Yeah, his mind is like no other.
Now, if you had the opportunity to, where were they going to go with it? Because I know that the TNA has their gut check. Have you ever tried out for any of those at all?
No, I have not. I have not tried out for the gut check yet.
And at one point, WWE had tried to do their Tough Enough. I don't know if you'd actually seen the one they did a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
with Steve Austin.
Yeah, ironically, Carmen was one of the Funkadactyls. She was on Tough Enough.
Yeah, that was kind of I'd rather not make a comment about that.
Wasn't she the one that said Melina versus Alicia Fox was her favorite match?
Yeah, one of the best matches there.
That's why I said I'd rather not make a comment. I mean, no disrespect to her personally, but I was hoping for one of the other guys, or even Ivelisse to win it, who actually were wrestlers. But that's just my opinion. Nothing against her personally. I actually think she's a great girl, and she seems like she has fun at what she does. But other than that, I wasn't rooting for her. Nothing. Just give my opinion. I could, if people disagree, which they probably do, it's okay.
Well, if they disagree, I'm pretty sure you hear about it on Facebook.
True. But hey, you know what? That's okay because that's what makes it fun. You can agree to disagree.
Yeah, good point.
Now, have you actually seen The Rock's new movie, Fast 6? What are your thoughts on that?
I actually did see that movie recently, and I liked it a lot. It's really good. Me personally, I don't watch a lot of those Too Fast, Too Furious movies just because, I'm not really a car guy, but the action scenes were great in them.
Yeah,
very
definitely.
Great.
Now, have you actually kept up on like the WWE films? And what I mean by that is there was one that just came out a couple of months back. It's already on DVD now. It's The Call with Halle Berry.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing commercials with Kane in that one. I haven't seen that movie yet. How did that do?
That one actually, because of it was more of a suspense thriller and wasn't based around really. I mean, Otunga made an appearance in there like once, but the movie was based around her. But it was a WWE film, which I think is another reason why it did well. And that's nothing against the WWE guys. It's just some of their movies weren't that great. But,
yeah,
like I said, this one was a good one because it was a suspense thriller.
Yeah, they're still trying to find their group as a studio. So
I agree. And, I actually enjoyed, like, See No Evil. I don't know. I thought Kane was a good bad guy.
I haven't seen that one either. Can't say I've seen that one.
But some of them are okay. Some of them are... I haven't seen 12 Rounds Reloaded with Randy Orton yet.
Have you seen The Marine?
No comment.
The Marine 2?
That was with Ted DiBiase, right?
I'm not sure. I lost count of The Marine.
Austin, you know which one that is, right?
Yeah, with Ted DiBiase, and then the third one was with Randy. No,
it was The Miz, actually, in the third one.
The Miz, yeah. Miz. So, what's your next wrestling event coming up? What's your on the calendar?
The next big one I have is going to be in Austin. That is Inspire Pro Wrestling.
Oh, nice.
That's one of the newer promotions that is up and coming. I'll be wrestling Bolt Brady again on this card, as well as there's other matches, including Davey Vega versus Chuck Taylor versus ACH for the main event. So that'll be great. That's on July 7th on a Sunday. And that's at the Marchesa Hall and Theater in Austin. So that's my next big one.
I remember seeing Bolt Brady at it was the Elite show, like 6 months ago, maybe 5 months ago, and I had no idea. I've seen you with Carson, Barbie Hayden. I think y'all were, Carson. Yeah, you and Carson were tag teaming together. But I don't know he was the most energetic person I've ever seen in my entire life, and his tights were like I think like Mario. Yeah, Mario, and he's really entertaining.
Yeah, he has more energy than a can of Red Bull, I'll tell you. Sometimes I feel really depressed when I'm around him because he has so much energy and positivity that I just want to be a recluse and, just get really depressed from him.
Ricky, actually, have you ever, once you decide if you decide somewhere down the line to hang up the boots later down the line, I definitely recommend you try and stand up.
Stand-up comedy? No, I don't think a lot of people would like my. I don't think a lot of people would like my sense of humor. I'm too much of an asshole to people.
Hey, you know what? That's okay because that's some comedians actually work that kind of comedy, and they make it work for them.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Just saying, you got a good sense of humor, and you definitely like to have fun, and I think that your comedy would definitely be something to think about if you ever thought about it somewhere down the line.
Well, if it pays as good as wrestling, I'd definitely go into it.
Well, besides
have you
comedy,
you said you were thinking about acting at one point. Have you looked into possible?
Oh yeah,
roles?
I was born an actor. I am, the ring is my theater, so every time I go out there, I must entertain. But yeah, for sure, depending on how my career goes or whatnot, once I feel like I've accomplished enough that there is, I do want to get into acting, and then continue to be a star there.
Or maybe you can be an impersonator. I don't know, maybe in Las Vegas or something.
I don't know. I feel like that bombed last time with you guys, so I think I think I just stick to wrestling or acting, either or.
That's cool. No, actually, and if your fans want to follow you on the social media, how can they follow you?
Oh well, first off, you guys can find me on Facebook. It is facebook.com/ricky.starks.7. Don't know why that 7's there, but it is. Or you have Twitter, which is where I can really be hilarious and give you as boring day-to-day life about which type of hummus that I'm eating, letting you know that I'm at a gym so you know that I work out. That can all be seen on my Twitter page, which is at starkmanjones.com. You guys say that? Starkmanjones?
I already follow you, and so does our Twitter handle follows you as well.
Yes, I saw you guys on there for sure. On Instagram, my Instagram handle is StarkyBaby. And
say that again.
It's StarkyBaby.
StarkyBaby.
Yeah, and I post pretty cool pictures of the food that I make and I eat, just to give you guys a sense of entitlement, or just to make you think that I'm a good cook. It's all store-bought. So.
Well, you just kind of revealed the secret now, didn't you?
Well, the secret is maybe it is store-bought, maybe I actually did cook it. No one knows, but it looks good on camera, so.
Hey, I'm the best at making
Instagram
ramen noodles.
I'm sorry?
I'm the best at making ramen noodles. I don't have a Food Network show, but I'm pretty good at doing that.
You're gonna make ramen noodles? Make sure you put chicken in there.
Well, no, I don't. I kind of just microwave it in a bag. Take it out.
Well, buddy, I think that's how people get cancer, eating ramen noodles that have been microwaved in the.
Yeah, actually,
you're supposed to cook it on the stove. You're supposed to cook that on the stove top.
Yeah, I was reading something about that. This girl ate like ramen noodles for her whole entire life, and she didn't get cancer from it, but she has a risk of getting it probably. I mean, probably really unhealthy.
Something. I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I was stranded out in Tahiti once, and had no way back to the mainland, right? But I had 6 pallets of ramen noodles that I put together and I floated on all the way back, and I left it at the border of Florida, and I left it for those guys that were trying to get in too. So ramen noodles comes in handy many, many times in life, just so you know.
Oh.
Keep that in mind.
Well, you know what? And you said your next show is going to be coming up on what date again?
July 7th, which is a Sunday. That would be Inspired Pro Wrestling. That'll be in Austin, Texas, actually, at the Manchester Theater.
For those Texans that are listening in, definitely go check out the show. You got a good entertainer there, and I know that these indie shows are definitely, or at least I've heard, they've been a lot better than some of the live shows as far as television goes. But
when I'm there, they are. But yes, I agree with you.
But all right, I'll tell you what. On behalf of Austin and myself, we definitely want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. It actually has been quite entertaining. You've definitely had me laughing, and I know I can almost assure you that Austin's been laughing, even if we don't hear him.
Well, he's still young to develop a sense of humor, so it's okay.
Well, he is definitely very young. I'll give you that much. He's very young, but that's okay though. That's okay because he's actually mature for his age.
Yeah, I'm mature, man. Dog.
I can't say the same for myself, but live and let live.
We would definitely love to have you come back on somewhere down in the very near future, or even as I suggested to, or maybe I don't know if we suggested it to Barbie or not, but having the 3 of you guys on at the same time.
Oh, that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect. In fact,
we can do a show with the 3 of you and having you guys tell some road stories if you're up for it.
Most definitely, yeah. I definitely have a lot of road stories with them, a lot of negative ones, but yeah.
That should make for a very interesting show somewhere down the line. What do you think, Austin?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I mean, we had to have all of them on that, one time or another, and I didn't think about having them all at once, but, that'd be great.
Book it.
I can't imagine what would be talked about and who'd be yelling at who.
It'd be made for an interesting show.
Yeah.
But yes, we will definitely keep you informed as to what dates were coming up and when we can do it. But like I said, we definitely would love to have you back and have you on with them. And in the meantime, we thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy your night. We appreciate you joining us here the last 45 minutes or so.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you two pretty soon.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you guys have a great night.
Have a good night, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.